Daredevil Born Again might very well be my favourite Marvel Cinematic Universe series when all is said and done. Last week, episode 3 focused on White Tiger's trial, and I was ecstatic with Matt Murdock's defense strategy and utterly heartbroken after Hector Ayala was murdered in cold blood by someone using the Punisher logo. And while the episode tried to point at Frank Castle possibly being behind White Tiger's death, it was clear there was simply no way he could have done it, and there was a far better explanation. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like and comment on the video, and if you're able, please sign up for channel memberships for exclusive content, which really helps us out. Anyway, back to Hell's Kitchen. So, thankfully, White Tiger's death didn't become a long mystery in the show, and episode 4 acknowledged the issue head-on with the return of Jon Bernthal's Punisher. While Frank Castle's new MCU appearance, the first under Marvel Studios' creative direction, is my favourite part of episode 4, there are some other very interesting elements in this week's episode. Born Again's cast co-led by D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, and I very much liked how episode 4 delved into the Adam mystery and allowed us to see how the kingpin side of Fisk is still very much present. There were some major developments on Wilson Fisk's side of the story. I love what Marvel is doing with the character, not only the mayor aspect of it, but making Fisk as important to the show as Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock. While Fisk was the main villain of Netflix's Daredevil, he didn't appear as much or had an extensive circle of characters around him as he does in the Disney Plus series. One of my favourite characters from Fisk's side of the show is Michael Gandolfini's Daniel, who I feared would die in episode 4. The reason for that is that Daniel blabbed about Fisk's recycling ideas to BB at the club. They are friends, but BB was clearly manipulating him to get information about Fisk's secret plans. The leak would escalate as the episode progressed, leading to a confrontation as Daniel revealed to Fisk that he had accidentally caused it. That leads to an intense moment that shows the complexity of D'Onofrio's portrayal of Marvel's Kingpin. Fisk is at the same time livid with Daniel's actions, but impressed by how he stepped forward. However, he will kill Daniel if something like this happens again. Gandolfini's energetic performance as Daniel and the earnestness he brings to the role makes him a charismatic character to follow. However, Fisk has no problem threatening even those he likes. For those who he hates, then the treatment is definitely worse. Born Again confirms that Adam was indeed someone Vanessa cheated on Fisk with. She was drawn by his artistic side, if you pardon the pun. I fully believed Fisk had killed Adam, which is why I was surprised when the MCU series revealed he kept him alive, trapping Adam in a cage, and Fisk's bloody fist from the previous episodes have been explained. While Wilson Fisk deals with his own storylines, Matt Murdock continues the threads left from White Tiger's murder. They would lead him to the character I have wanted to see the most since the show was announced, Bernthal's Punisher. The actor first played the anti-hero in season 2 of Netflix's Daredevil, and sure, the Punisher is mainly known for his action-heavy appearances and how Frank Castle is not afraid to leave a bloody trail of destruction behind when he goes after a target. However, Bernthal showed the Punisher can be so much more. I loved all the Punisher action scenes in Netflix's Daredevil, however, his most effective moments were the quieter ones. When Frank opened up to Matt about his family and the two discussed their moral codes in the show's rooftop and cemetery scenes, I realised just how nuanced of a character he is. Bernthal is a powerhouse, and his return as the anti-hero shows he has not skipped a beat in that role. What I loved the most about Punisher's role in episode 4 was not the dirty cops angle, but the emotional response he gets out of Matt. Heather Glenn has already tried to get Matt to open up about Foggy's death in last week's episode, but the Punisher is straight to the point, forcing Matt to deal with his feelings. Frank knows exactly what buttons to push to make Matt feel what he has to in order to move on from Foggy's death. After the two get physical, the aggressiveness makes room for an emotional moment where Frank mourns his son and Matt mourns his friend. The dynamic between the characters continues to be fantastic, and I'm excited to see where that will lead us. And to close off the review, a new MCU villain makes his debut in episode 4. The new villain only appears in 2 scenes. Once at the beginning, a mass criminal who looks to be MUSE carries an unconscious body across the train tracks into the depths of the tunnel, and again at the episode's ending. But MUSE probably isn't pumping all the blood out of his victim's body out of sheer pleasure. In the comics, MUSE uses dead bodies in his artwork to deliver a message to New York and its vigilantes. MUSE's first gore-based public artwork in the source material is made with 6 inhuman corpses. MUSE's next piece involves the drained blood of multiple victims who are still alive by the time MUSE's plans are interrupted. I'm interested to see where this goes.